Hey YouTube, it's Chris Bogart, and like I said in the previous video, I'm going to explain Katawa Shoujo. Once I put this aside. There you go. So, I'm going to Google it real fast to see what comes up. Alright, Katawa Shoujo. You look it up, and there's the website. Actually, let's go on the wiki. I feel like wiki is the best thing in the world. Katawa Shoujo, translated to crippled girls, or disability girls, is a something style visual novel by 4 Leaf Studios, 4chan, that tells the story of a young man and 6 young women living in varying disabilities. Alright, you know what? This really sucks. Let's start. The story basically is a first-person story, and you are this guy named Hisao Nakai. He went to a school somewhere, and he had a crush on this girl named Iwanako. Actually, no, she slipped him a note saying, "Meet me at 4 o'clock at this place," because she had a crush on him. She asked him out, and he had a heart attack. He was later diagnosed with cardiac dysrhythmia. I actually just call it arrhythmia. Oh well. Where basically he's had it his whole life, and he only had the heart attack once, so his heart's really weak. He stayed for several months in a hospital, 4 to be exact, and then he was notified by the doctors and his parents to be transferred to a private school for the disabled and unhealthy. I just burped. So he goes to the school. He's like, well, I'm not going to fit in because it's a school full of people that don't fit in. But he fits in pretty well. Because, you're all disabled. You have emotional problems. Anyways, he meets 5 girls who alright, in Act 1, there's 4 acts. In Act 1, you befriend one of these people through the choices you make. Like, for example, the first one is, do you want to introduce yourself to the class or don't you? That pretty much cuts the 5 down to 3 or 2, depending on what you choose. And, but the girls are Emmy. Emmy is energetic, shorty, and she doesn't have legs. She uses prosthetics. She's a runner. She's a track runner, and her, I don't want to get too in depth with it, but she was the first one I went with. Goddamn, was that that was a good reading. Anyways, next one, Hanako. Actually, no, I'm going to go to Rin, whatever you want to say. She got amputated due to a birth defect, and she doesn't have arms. And Emmy and Rin are close friends, and they are next door because the administration thought it would be cool to have a person with no arms and no legs next to each other, so they'd complete one another. Anyways, that's not what I'm here for. Rin is an artist, even with no arms. She uses her legs as if they were arms, and she's pretty literal about things. Is really serious and just, I don't know. It's weird. She's weird. But, yeah, she's alright. I haven't done her story yet either. Next, we have Hanako. She's on her, no, she's not on her own. Hanako, as a child, suffered an incident where her house was burnt down, taking the lives of her parents. Her mother tried to cover her, so the right half of her body is completely burned and scorched. She's super shy, and it's like probably the cutest thing in the world, and it's coming out of me, people. It was like the coolest thing in the world. It was so cute, like I couldn't even describe it. She was my second story, and I'm currently on someone else right now, but that was also a very good read. It was really emotional. This whole thing is really emotional. You get emotionally attached with all these characters, and you feel like, God damn it, I wish I'd date one of these people in real life. You probably will. Like honestly, it affected me. Reading this, or one of the stories at least, really affected me. It touched me. But, yeah, that's Hanako. She's really shy, emotional. All of them are emotional. They all have these disabilities that act like they live life as if they didn't have these stereotypes of their disability. For example, like, Green doesn't have arms. You wouldn't think she'd be an artist, but she is. So they live down the stereotypes of their disabilities, and it's really touching. I'm gonna warn you guys right now. I forgot to do this earlier. There is technically pornographic scenes. and you can disable it, but I wouldn't even think about it. It's like, even while you were having sex, like with these girls in Act 4, the ending, it didn't even feel like it. Like, that's not a reward. It's, you grow emotionally, and it's really emotional. I didn't even realize, like, what was going on until, like, halfway through. I was like, oh, she's grinding on my dick. Keep reading, and it was just really emotional. Like, I cried a couple times through it. I know, right? No, but it's really touching. It's really well written. It's a lot of time was put into this, and I want to say if this was put into a book, it'd be such a better book than shit tons of stuff on the market right now. Like, I want to go into a Barnes & Noble and see this. I want this to be turned into an anime or something where people will read it too. Next girl, we have Lily. Lily is best friends with Hanako. They are also neighbors in the dormitories, and Hanako is blind. She cannot see. So she uses hearing. She's very tall, very kind, polite. She's like the average British person. You meet her first by stumbling in a room and she's drinking tea. So you would suspect her to be really high class. She's really high class. And so here's what Emmy is really hyper and energetic and short. Reen is really like not boring but like plain. Some people like her, some people don't. I don't like. I don't know what they'll think of her yet. Hanako's really shy and like cute, and then Lily's just really high class and respectful. And finally, Shizune is mute. She's deaf. She signs. She's always hanging around with her friend Misha. You meet them first. Misha is her translator, the person who signs for her. Yes, I know some sign language. Derp. But you can't choose Misha, even though she's cute. She has pink hair and drills. You can look this up. But Shizune's mute. Shizune and Misha. Shizune's deaf. Misha's her translator thing. But they're both the student council. They're the only members in the student council, so they press in the beginning for you to join for them. You do. If you do, you join Shizune's story. And Shizune's really. I'm in her story right now. She's really like different. You think like she's really basically she's a bitch. You perceive her off as a bitch, but she's just really competitive. Takes life in a really serious way in a sense. But I promise you this much: you will connect to every single one of these girls if you do the story. It takes 8 hours to finish one of the stories, which is like reading a book. And that is a pretty hefty amount of time per story, but it is absolutely worth it. I love this to death, otherwise I wouldn't be making a video about it. And there's some funny people in this too. Kenji specifically, but I won't even need to explain about that.
What time do you think he'll be home?
But yeah, this was I freaking love this to death. And the music in it is amazing. The writing is amazing. The art is beautiful. It was all painted, drawn, and I love it to death. In fact, I'm about to read it right now. But I might do a let's play with it. I started from the beginning to show you guys another path, but
yeah, after school.
So good. It's really good. I can't describe it any other way. You guys have to check it out for yourselves. It's free, it's downloaded, it's absolutely worth it. It's life-changing, it's affected me, and I think it'll affect you guys too. Thank you guys for watching, comment, subscribe. Check it out if you want, if you don't, whatever. But thanks for watching, I'll see you guys later. Adios, YouTube.